it's something, the suffering and the pain in the world is something to make us a better person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if the world was perfect, if the world was full of candlestick people, right? Well, there'd be nothing to improve, would there? You'd be happy. It'd be it. You know, everything will be sweet.
Yeah.
But because there's not, it's sort of, you can use it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? By accepting it.
Yeah, well, some people will suffer more than others. It's for their own good.
Yeah, but why? You know, the whole, and all, so much suffering.
Yeah, and the timing is right with some people.
What?
The timing is right with some people to attract luck, success in life, and others, they miss the timing every time.
Much of it. If, you know, just from my anthropomorphic perspective, there was this much suffering, and I'd be thinking, I'm going to do something about that. You know what I mean? There's that much. So you got to accept somehow that there's this awesome, loving creator God who's watching all this suffering.
Allowing it.
And allowing it.
Healing a few, but most of them not.
Probably most people aren't allowing themselves to be healed. Remember, Jesus always said,
Right.
There's no ultra faith either. There's no no miracle work. It's consistent. You know, like there's no institute. There's disciples. Imagine if there was an upper room or something where they really were the disciples and they never died. So, I mean, they was just still, and anyone could go there and get healed. You know, that sort of thing. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the suffering thing. Yeah, I know some people.
So somehow you're going to reconcile that, and having learning the humility to reconcile that is, I think, that is a step forward.
Yeah.
Instead of avoiding it. Some bloke said he had a near-death experience. He got hit by a car.
Yeah.
Right? And in the middle of a street. And so he had this he got taken to this place of peace and okay. And then he said he saw these people in sort of like hoods looking through this piece of glass at him, and they said, well, you wanted to know about reality, so we took you and showed you. And then he woke up, and it was only a few seconds after the car had hit him, and the ambulance was there, and he said, no, I'm okay, but they, checked him out anyway.
Yep.
And so didn't you just roll one?
2. That's it.
What are you doing?
I'm just going to sit back. I'm sitting back so I don't have to so I can keep talking.
Oh.
Just so I can sit back. Go on, keep going. I'm listening.
Sorry. Yeah. It sounded weird. Nice big fat one, eh?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. It's just
Anyway, to me, that sounded like the fucking Archons. It just sounded just like the Archons. It was, I reckon it was them, the ones that said, "Oh, you wanted to know, so we took you."
The Archons, the astral planes.
And he's thinking, "Oh yeah, I went to heaven." I reckon he's went to it was the Archons.
Gave them some sort of a false light piece, just a distraction.
And then he makes the video
away from the cross. That's Satan's plan, isn't it?
There's nothing about Jesus.
Nothing about Jesus. I remember I had that experience with those gurus. We all went into some trance. I was only drinking water, and I got to this place across the ocean. We shot off like the shooting star, and I said, "Do you come in the name of Jesus?" And they shot off, and I woke up the circle. Security. I was removed. I'll never forget that. I was with this bloody Hindu chick back in the 70s, and she says, "What did you do that for? Why did you break the circle?"
Spoiled it.
And it broke us up because she was Hindu. Yeah, and I wasn't even a really converted Christian, and yet I still said, "You come in the name of Jesus."
There's this girl who was got a YouTube video about Christ consciousness. Okay, so I watched that.
Yeah.
And she's talking about how to have Christ consciousness, and then she says, "But I'm not a Christian myself." So I turned that off. Anyway, the next day or something, I see another video about her, and she's a witch. She goes, "How to be a witch?" She's a witch. But see, when they talk about Christ consciousness, they talk about the Christos.
Oh, is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Christ wasn't Jesus' name. Yeshua.
Christos.
Whatever but the Christos part is the part about the spiritual aspect.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? Like the essence thing. That's what the Christos part is. Okay. But so, yeah. Anyway, so that's why they can talk about Christ consciousness and get people in. Okay. But at least she came out and said, "I'm not a Christian." So I just
The witches, yeah.
I only wanted to see her tits anyway. How nice tits. And then she got this video like, witchy. I'm a witchy. So it's kind of, it's this wild west out there, isn't there, of, kind of like,
well, the Mormon church will celebrate Halloween, and witches dressed up in their chapels run around and yet deny the cross on the building, which is worse. How can they justify Halloween?
But don't they have a cross anymore?
No, they never have a cross. Never.
Did they ever have a cross?
They deny the cross. They reckon, why would you bring shame upon Jesus to crucify him every day like the Catholics? We don't need a cross. We only worship the resurrected Christ. We don't worship the dead Christ. In other words, they're not going to kneel down and prostrate themselves and feel sorry for what. So that, they've got their own laws. No smoke, drink, tea, coffee, pay your tithes sort of thing, and morality. But the Catholics at least get down. This is what Sam Shamartin was saying. At least the Catholics get down on their knees and they feel sorrow. Mormons don't feel sorrow.
There's a lot of stuff going on with the Catholics, especially this Pope.
Yeah, the last Pope, they say.
And all the prophecies.
Yeah.
Do you know about the 3 prophecies from those kids? 3 prophecies of Fatima?
Oh, the Fatima. Oh.
I've been following them for years, mate.
Yeah. You mean that appearance, Fatima?
Eh?
Fatima was the appearance of that Mary.
Yeah, and gave the girls 3 prophecies.
And there were UFOs in the sky that
day? All sorts of things.
Yeah.
And gave them 3 prophecies, okay? But the popes, the different popes, never let the 3rd one prophecy be released. The other 2 were about Russia or something, okay?
All right.
But they never let the 3rd one be released.
Yeah.
Right? And all these years, they locked the 3rd one away. Okay, anyway, it's just finally, it's come out. The old lady herself got so old, she wrote it down, and then someone got it, and the Pope's locked it up, and
drum roll.
The whole thing, okay? That it was, evil will come into the church and it will start from the top.
Oh.
Right? So that's why they locked it away, because it said, well, that's the end of the church.
Same in the Mormon church. It even said that the evil would come from the top, money hungry, commanding tithing when they've got 100 billion in the bank or more, that trillions in assets, and it said it was a prophecy that time will come. You need to pay tithing, take care of all the members. Bullshit. There's rich as fuck. And all sorts of other things, and money-hungry empire that hardly helped the poor. It was all prophecy. Yeah, go on.
Who had that prophecy?
It was actually in the Book of Mormon, and also, the Book of Mormon predicted itself that it would be corrupt.
This is kind of like pretty full on, because it ties right in with that Malachi prophecy of the last pope. See, and that was 800 years before the Fatima
Malachi, you mean the other Malachi? There's two. You're talking which Malachi?
Well, see, remember, from 800 years ago, the prophecies of Malachi, the list of popes, and the last pope.
But that's not the Malachi of the Bible.
No.
It's Malachi.
This was a bishop.
Yeah.
Bishop Malachi, who went to Rome in 1200 AD and had a vision and wrote down all the 112 popes that were going to come after that one.
Yeah.
This is 800 years ago, okay? So this is like 700 years before Fatima, all right? And he wrote down a list of all the popes that were going to come along.
That's right, 14 of them.
112 or something, okay?
112 what? Popes.
Popes.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the last one, and that's supposed to be this one, all right? And then you've also got this prophecy of Fatima, the third prophecy, which says that evil's going to come into the church and it's going to start from the top. Okay?
Yep.
So you've got these two prophecies that hundreds of years apart, all sort of pointing right at Papa right now.
Yeah, the one now.
Right, the one now. Peter the Roman. And he is kind of saying that same-sex couples can get blessed in the church, right? He's bringing that in. That's why a lot of the bishops are saying, well, he's crossed the red line, he's crossed a line, because that's the absolute line you can't cross with the Catholic Church, because it just completely, that's might as well say Jesus didn't get crucified, all right? He didn't die on the cross, and then they got him off.
Yep.
Might as well say that.
Yep.
So that's how kind of extreme that is, a bit about same-sex couples can get blessed. Right? So that's just, it's all pointing to, and all these prophecies. I'm trying to be a better person. Someone probably might have been the Russians, they dug a 14-mile hole into the earth, the deepest hole in the world. See how I get there, okay?
Yeah.
And they put a microphone down there, and they could hear all this screaming. Like,
The lost souls, eh? Fallen angels. They were locked up.
What if it's sinners? Millions of sinners all screaming.
Because they're still here somewhere, but in another parallel world. Hell.
He said it sounded like millions
Remember
of
Gary?
people screaming.
Gary was an alcoholic. He drank himself to death one night. He nearly died. And he said he fell down this bottomless pit. And hands were coming out everywhere, grabbing him and freaking him out. And he was just falling into the abyss. And he prayed to God. He said, if I get out of this, I'll stop drinking. And he did. He came out of it. He was taken up again. That was his turning point. He said it was a terrible feeling, just falling in this deep, dark space, going down, and hands of bloody, like demon hands, fingers, bloody.
I had I might have told you about that, kind of like a, what do they call it, a sort of a waking dream. I knew I was in a dream, but it was real, It's like, I still remember, I can still see it.
Yeah.
And I was in something like the showgrounds, and in the animal stalls, you got all the different stalls and the gates and everything like that. Okay, and you up and down the chutes and okay, and so there was kind of all that going on, all these gates and chutes and grass and animals and stuff, and I was going here and there, and then there's all these kind of grim fucking dudes just above me, and they were they wanted me. I knew they wanted me, and I was almost like sort of not teasing them. I didn't know what I was doing there. And then one of them said, "Oh, we can't get him. He's not dead." It was so real,
That's
mate.
scary.
And I thought, "Oh, okay, I better get out of here."
Yeah.
I can remember it was like, and it was so real. It was like I was there.
Now just imagine if you were dead and you couldn't come back.
We can't get him. He's
well,
not
remember
dead.
that one I had with the hit the sand?
Yeah. We can have these experiences, can't we? Like the bloke in the truck. I told you about that.
In the truck.
Bloke in the truck.
Right.
I was standing on one side of the road, and there were these hooded characters standing on the other side of the road in this country. They chased me out of this supermarket, and I was in the country. All of a sudden, I was in this country road, and they were across the other side of the road, and they were coming for me. Okay, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And then it was like imagine it was night time. Okay, and so it was a country road. And then I heard this, and these lights. An air horn, and the next second, just like the biggest semi you've ever seen, big fuel tanks and big chrome exhaust stack spotlights, the big step-up fuel tanks, huge, all this chrome, just sort of like pulled up right there, all that spotlights all over it, and I looked up and the driver's way up there. I said, "Can I come with you?" And you stood up. Yeah, I grabbed hold of the mirror and stood on the emotional, just thinking about it. Stood up on the petrol tank, the step tank, big chrome step tank, put my foot on that, and grabbed the mirror and stood up. And as I did, and then he put it into gear, took off. And as he was taking off, I saw their faces in the spotlights he took off. And their faces were, the bloke in the truck's got him. We've lost him now, he's gone. We can't get him now. The bloke in the truck's coming to get him.
Where was you on this?
Hanging onto the mirror. You know what I mean?
Who can't get who?
We can't get him now because the bloke in the truck.
Who's him?
Jesus or an angel, whoever was driving the truck, came to get me out of where I was. And the look on their face was, can't get him now, the bloke, because they were just about to get me. It was out in the country, it was dark, I had nowhere to go behind, it was all black, and they chased me out of this supermarket down the hill, and I crossed the road, and they were coming down, their hoods up, three of them. Okay, and and the horn, and then the lights were around the bend, and then it was right there, huge semi. And I couldn't see his face, but it was like, he was just sitting there, and can I come with you? And he just said, yeah. I grabbed up, and then, and he took off, and then I just saw them, we lost him, It was great, it was like, and that's one of the dreams I'll never forget.
Well, I went over the cliff, I stood on the edge, I fell over. Actually, Lily was standing right on the edge of the cliff at the time.
Is this in a dream?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she wouldn't go any further, and she says, "Daryl, step back, you're too close to the edge." And I says, "I'm a daring person, I used to be a champion dirt bike, jump over cliffs and things." I stood and I fell, and I fell down this great abyss, hit the sand, and as I was looking up, there were screeches of lightning coming down from above, and it was like I heard this woman. She was some type.
These are the ones that hit the sand.
They were hitting the sand. I hit the sand, but I didn't screech because I wasn't meant to stay there. And it was like lightning coming across it. Thousands of people that had just died couldn't get back, and they were screeching like sluts, and people who lived their life absolutely guideless, and hitting the sand and screeching, and then demons coming and grabbing them, and literally, like that movie Ghost, they were just taken down even further. And I said, "Wow, I want to get out of here. I don't want to be." Yeah, they were like 10 foot tall things with big, like the Joker in the.
Could have been the other ones.
And I got taken out of there, and I was told, "This is what happens when you don't wake up. This is where you end up if you don't make some changes." Is it permanent or not? Well, the Bible seems to think it's permanent, but maybe there is levels. You come out of that and go somewhere else.
You know what, with this UFO thing,
Yeah, UFO, yeah.
the CIA
Yep.
seems to have a lot to do with trying to keep it all quiet.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, you realise that the CIA is run by the Catholic Church? Do you know
Wouldn't
that?
be surprised.
No, they are. The Jesuits. They set it up. That's why there's always these, at every official American kind of political rally or, election or anything, you'll always see a few Roman Catholic bishops around, at the sign. Always.
Yeah.
You'll see the Democrat or the senator there, but there'll be a couple of Roman bishops at the election, the president and that. Always. So they run the CIA. Okay. So that would explain why it's them trying to cover it up, because they want people thinking that it's Papa. It's not anything else. It's Papa and God, but Papa is the man.
Papa Pope, yeah.
It's not, because if it's other people, that takes the spotlight off Papa, doesn't it? Off the Pope.
Yep.
Because he's not so important then.
No.
Right?
He's a puppet Pope.
So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
That bloke that tried to tell the people that the earth wasn't flat, okay? They burned him at the stake, poor Copernicus.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Copernicus. He tried to, they burned him at the stake. And that's what's going, so they're the same people that are doing this.
Yeah.
Because there's supposed to be this thing called the Galactic Federation, and they're supposed to have thousands of ships in the sky, and like, and the world is ready to shift into the new level 50 consciousness, and this is the time right now. It's happening.
Well, they're invisible. Where are they? Yeah.
And even the Catholics are saying, yes, now it's prophecies are being fulfilled. This is it.
Yeah.
So apparently it's all happening right now. It's all going off. Have you seen the floods and all the shit that's going on around the world?
Around the world,
in the Middle East and Turkey and China. And it's like huge. It's like sort of end of world stuff. All these lives getting swept away, houses and cars and trees. When you see trees being blown over, that's a serious storm, because those trees have been there for years, and they've put up with a lot of storms. And when you see them getting ripped out of the ground, right, you know that's an extra special fucking storm. Okay, it's not the average storm. And that's the things we're seeing.
Yeah.
That's what's going on, right? You're not supposed to have winds like that, right? That's what I always look for when there's any trees going. And, you don't often see it, but when you do, that's a serious storm.
Yeah, well, with the tsunami, that woman that stopped to go and get a drink at the 7-Eleven from the taxi and told the kids to go under the hotel. A walk wasn't that far away, and they were like 7 stories up in the hotel. Moments after that taxi took off with the kids, tsunami came and swept it, and everybody on that front beach were gone. It was a true story, wasn't it?
Yeah,
gone.
That quick.
All she did was stop to get a drink. See? And the waves were coming in and people were just standing there looking at it, thinking, what's this? That's quite extra large.
Yeah, the water runs out.
They've got sirens now.
First. Oh, look at the water going out. And
they just stood there. Like, I saw one in the hotel in the pool in the hotel, and pieces of metal and trees, stuff coming in. It was just swept, chopped their heads off.
People just gone.
Yeah, 100,000 of Westerners.
Yeah. We've got this beautiful day, so we need to be really grateful for beautiful trees.
Again, as I say, we're probably the only 2 people in all of Perth talking like this.
You'd hope there would be more.
There'd be people talking about Jesus, but I mean, really trying to understand these wisdoms and the matrix of it all. It's
amazing you should have said matrix right then. That's because it's exactly what
Yeah.
I was thinking of, and you said that right. Of all the
That's
words you could
synergy.
have said,
Mm.
it's exactly what I was thinking of.
Wow.
You know, like, yeah. So, all right. Let's assume that the matrix represents this whirlpool of pixels of colours that are screaming around us, okay?
Yeah.
Every pixel being every word, every event, everything we see, hear, smell, touch, move, okay, everything we observe, understand, okay? It's all in the, all of it, everything.
Yeah.
It's all in it. It's got to be the place to start, you know? And then you can center yourself, because something that I'm starting to understand, right? It's only how we get drip fed understandings. It might take years between drips, right? Years and years between drips. I'm seeing that now. Like, I'm identifying drips from years ago that suddenly still dripping, you know? Like, oh, okay, that's that drip that joins with that drip. So, okay, here's a drip. When you okay, all right, now, cut a long story short. Okay, let's just say it's a matrix. Right? Yeah. But the center of the matrix is inside every person. So every individual on the earth is the center of their own universe. All right? They're perceiving the universe. So every individual is the center of their universe, okay? Just imagine that. 8 billion versions of reality.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just on a simple level. Now, and if there was only one person in the world, right? Just imagine there was only one person in the world. And the world looked like it was, okay? And he was the only one in the world, right? Well, his universe would look like lots of trees, animals, water, okay? Okay? Now, and he'd build a little house.
Yeah.
For one person, right?
Yeah.
And then, so his universe would look like got trees, animals, and one little house, right? And that's what the universe would look like, because that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
One person there, one little house, trees and animals, all right?
Right.
So that's what the universe looked like. Now, so another person comes along, all right? Now, they see what he sees, trees, animals, and one little house, all right? But so their version of the universe agrees with his, but then they think, but I need a little house too, all right? So my version of the universe is going to looks a little bit different than his. So I'll go and talk to him and see if I can build a little house next to his. And so that happens. So, and then both of them, when they look at the world, their world looks like lots of trees, animals, and two little houses sitting there. That's what reality is, okay? And anyone else who comes along and sees that, they would think that reality looked like trees, animals, and two little houses. But when that first person came along, reality looked like trees, animals, and one little house, all right?
Yeah.
So, but the second person came along, so the two of them agreed that their universes were going to look like this. trees, animals, and 2 little houses.
Yeah.
The third person comes along, so the 3 of them agree that reality is going to look like trees, animals, and 3 little houses.
Right.
Right. So in a huge extent, reality is a consensus thing. In a society, in a city, we all agree that reality is going to look like that. You know what I mean? Because, okay, you need to live there, and I need to do there. So, okay, I understand that your universe needs to look like that. Mine needs to look like this.
A consensus.
Yeah, but it's an agreement. And then the people who don't agree are called outsiders, and they fuck off somewhere else. You know what I mean? And because that picture doesn't agree with them. They don't like that picture.
Yeah.
So they've on the outside. But then you get all these groups like the mob, the city, all the people living in the social thing, who have all agreed, okay, it's going to look like that.
Yeah.
All right?
Scenic.
So that's the very first level of reality. The very, very first level. And it's purely artificial because you take it back to the very first person, and all it was trees and animals.
Yeah.
Okay. And kind of like, and then there's one little house or one little cave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so reality after that became artificial. I mean, but consensual. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
we will agree
to
the
unity
adjust
of the oneness.
reality to look like this, so that we can all be here.
Yeah.
That's the very first level of reality.
Yeah.
Okay. But the weird thing is people think that that's it.
Yeah.
That's reality.
Yeah.
That's just people agreeing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
That's all that
aspect-
is. But they think that that's the meaning of life.
Yeah. As philosophy teaches, it's an aspect of the totality of the whole. An aspect. So everybody's got an aspect of the totality of the whole picture, which just said a consensus, be it one person or the whole planet. And others go into abstract.
Not really, it's abstract, but yeah, don't mention theosophy, Blavatsky, you're crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, all right. So you've got all these individuals either agreeing or not agreeing that reality is going to look a certain way. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so you bring it back to yourself. All right.
Yep.
Now, right, so the point I was actually, okay, so we've got to find, obviously it's not easy when you get out of that agreement thing.
Yeah.
Well, then you start thinking, well, what? Okay. So it's not easy to get to the next level once you step back from that first level of, you can get a bit lost. Okay, I'll fucking do this.
Yeah.
But so what now? And then, so the obvious thing is to just, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. God knows what's going on. I'll just pray, meditate, or see what happens. Or, there's that grey zone, and it kind of makes sense, like it's all teaching this stuff.
Well,
but there's you've got to be, it's like mechanisms and tools and devices to get us to the next level. And what is, okay, the point I'm trying to make is something starting to make sense, is that I thought about this for a long time, okay? Now, when you have a lens, like a magnifying lens, okay? And you have a piece of paper and you have the lens there and you have the thing there, okay? put the lens there, and then you see the image on the piece of paper, don't you? All right?
Yep.
Now, so all that information of that object goes into the lens, all right? And all that data goes down to this fucking tiny little point called a singularity. And then it comes back out again and goes out and it gets restored on that bit of paper. But it goes down to nothing. All that information.
Yeah, little pixel.
All that gets squeezed down into one fucking pixel, sort of all of it. You know, like 10 trillion pixels get squeezed into one.
Yeah.
Right, sort of thing.
Of little atom.
And then expands out again, right? Now, so to the focus. Now, a few hundred years ago, this really smart mathematician named Fourier did the numbers on that, called it a transform. And it's all to do with sine waves, right? And fractions and infinite series, stuff like that. So he was able to actually kind of make a mathematical bridge, build a mathematical bridge between kind of what we can see and how this is the point I'm trying to make, how focus activates things. So in relation to us trying to get to the next level and all the whirlpool stuff and everything, okay, I'm starting to see it's to do with focus.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
I'm starting to hear all the things I've heard about focus.
In a meditational
through
sense.
the years of focus.
Yeah.
But you can hear something, but if it's not real to you, it doesn't mean anything until the time in your life comes when all of a sudden, oh, okay, that's what that means. Okay, that's like a drip. It's just been waiting there to drop down, okay? And this is our experiences, but we have to be open. We have to be looking, we have to be responsive. Otherwise, it's like there's all these people carrying around these little sort of bucket of jewels and all saying, oh, I've got no money, I'm broke. You know?
Yeah.
I've just got this stinking bucket that I can't open and I'm broke, I've got no money, and it's all full of diamonds. It's a bit like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They got no idea what they're carrying. It's something like that. So the focus thing is all starting to make sense. All right? Because in the whirlpool, there's no focus. It's just all these colours of all these events and this thing.
Yeah.
This happened, I've got to do this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And most people are caught up in that's reality. Okay? And to make matters worse, not only are they thinking that whirlpool is reality, they're thinking that whirlpool is also fitting into that consensus. So you get all these little whirlpools all kind of trying to create a society.
Yeah,
The whole place is going to shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one knows what the fuck's going on.
No.
Right? Because there's zero sense of focus. Right? It's just everybody looking at these little whirlpools trying to mesh with someone else's little whirlpool.
Yeah, crabs getting out of a pot while you're being boiled alive.
Just the lunatics running the asylum. You know, full on. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially the money-hungry business type of people.
Yeah, but their focus is not on what they can be.
No.
It's on the whirlpool.
Yeah.
Right?
And the retirement plan, which may never happen. Because people kill themselves for the sake of end-of-life riches.
Hey, no, you're missing the point. Their focus is on the colours in the whirlpool.
All right. Yeah.
That's what they think is going on. That.
Yeah. Not beyond.
But the focus is not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Focus is supposed to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
This is what's coming. I'm starting to understand. It's about focus. Now the journey is to find focus. Right?
Yeah.
I kind of got an idea.
Yeah.
And it's,
Are you leading up to meditation or something? A focus in that sense?
I'm leading up to whatever it takes for me to kind of be what I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Whatever that takes. I want things to go that way. I want to make the choice to go that way. I don't know the future, but I want things to go that way.
I think the body being a temple has something to do with that.
Well, see, this is how I always look at that. When I'm just trusting that when it's really time for me to stop smoking, then I will.
Could be too late.
Like, there are so many people doing so many terrible things.
No, worse.
So much more worse, okay? And there's grace.
Yes.
All right? And love covers a multitude of sins.
Yeah, I know.
Love is the fulfilling of the law. It is written, okay? Whether you like it or not, it's written.
Yeah.
Okay?
And God
I'm
forbid.
working on love.
Yeah.
All right?
But then Paul said, God forbid. That doesn't give us a license to make it a lifestyle.
Oh, God, do I steal?
No.
Yeah, so you make the effort, but love is the most important one of all.
Yeah.
It's the fulfilling
That's true.
of the law.
I like that.
So I work on that. Everyone else is working on the other bits.
Yeah.
And they're not doing very well either. You know what I mean? So I'm working on the other one. Okay, and just trusting.
And how do you outreach and help people?
Well, that's part of you wait I've got a plan, mate. So I'm working on
spiritually. You're talking to me. I'm 1 out of a million or billion. See, when I go to church, I see a lot of people that are still lost. They focus on Jesus, which is good, but they have no advice to give for people that have gone through some type of tragedy or problem in their life. They only refer to the Bible. Do this, do that. Be obedient. Be a good boy.
Let me tell you something, mate. Okay?
How about a bit of empathy? Real life experience,
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
All right? When home gets established, all right,
Yeah. That's your dream.
at the main centre, all right, there's going to be a big searchlight on the roof, a real big one, okay? It goes on at night, right? That way, anyone for miles around will know that they'll be able to see the light, and all they have to do is just get to the light and everything will be all right, okay? And on that searchlight, I'm not going to tell them, I'm just going to ask them, I'll put a searchlight on the roof. They say, yeah, okay, no worries, that's cool. But on the first night that I go to turn it on, I'm going to put a cross on the searchlight, okay? So that'll be in the searchlight, like the bat. Like
the bat.
I'm going to
That's
put a cross on there.
hologram, yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Not a hologram, searchlight.
Searchlight, but it makes it into sort of
Put a cross on the lens.
Yeah, in the lens.
So it'll be,
Yeah.
It'll be crossing the light up in the clouds.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. Right? And they'll know that that's the signal. Right? And then they just have to get to the light and everything will be all right.
You better focus on money to get that, to build that sort of organisation.
That's what the machine's all about, mate. That's what it's all about.
It takes money.
It's the machine's nearly done.
Yeah, what's that? The electricity thing. Another guy that invented the water car and he got killed because
Stanley Myers.
there was going to be no petrol cars.
Do you know the story?
I was reading about it. Yes.
He was in a coffee shop.
No, I missed that part. No.
He had an appointment lined up with these investors. All right. So him and his brother went to a coffee shop to meet these investors. All right. And they had a sitting down there drinking coffee. and he had a sip of his coffee, and he jumped straight, this is what his brother said, he jumped straight up, grabbed his throat, said, "They've poisoned me." And he died there and then, and the coroner said he had a heart attack.
Oh.
That's how it is.
Well,
Hey, have you got coffee?
yeah, mate. And
Milk?
yes, everything.
Can I have a cup of coffee?
Yes, I'll make it. Apparently, you can go like 5 hours on a tank on a gallon of water. 5 hours on a gallon of water.
Got him. Yeah. I saw a video a couple of weeks ago of about 10 inventors who got crunched. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get them.
Yeah.
I get them. So
the ideas.
Could you shut the kettle on?
Yeah. Two sugars? No one's come.
You got full cream milk, haven't you?
Yeah, mate.
Spoons of coffee, please.
Yep, shall do so.